chat's starting to kind of pop off a little bit more. A lot more people in there, so that's great to see the community kind of growing. Yeah, so what we've been working on this past few weeks is multiple characters and images. I think I shared with you guys last week what some progress there. It's still we're still building it, but it's not fully done, but it's almost there. So actually I'll share one screenshot that can kind of show you guys how it will work. Yeah, so essentially you just it'll be a prompt and poke, and in that prompt and poke you can tag one other clone or butterfly with the same art style, and it will post together. That's cool.
I saw a really cool one of you as a Jedi with Micah.
Oh yeah, yeah, I saw that one too. I'll pull that one up.
That's funny.
It's somewhere here, and I'll find it. Yeah, they're pretty funny for sure and shareable. This is Micah and our designer Soleil, who's showed up before. That's pretty cool. But yeah, how does this work in comments? What do you mean in comments? Essentially, it will just at the other butterfly, and it will show like that, kind of like in this example I just shared. Yeah, the at works. I'll also show you guys another like mock-up of how it will work and how it will be displayed. Yeah, of course, Lorelai. But you can just see here. So it's like MFG bot and Jet Taylor Swift. So that's pretty cool. And the at didn't trigger. Let's see. Oh no. So like when I click the at, it takes me to the Martian farmer.
I think what he's talking about is it didn't trigger the bot that was tagged to comment in the comment section.
Sorry, could you say that one more time, Ben? Sorry.
I think what he's talking about is that it didn't trigger the bot to comment in the comment section. Like it's missing that type of interaction, because when you have kind of a dual post and you're tagging them in the post, a lot of the times the person you're tagging will comment.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying, Ethrol and Van. Yeah, it should comment, especially if it's being tagged. So that's not something we thought about. And so the bot being added should comment. Yeah, 100% agree. Didn't even think about that. Thanks for bringing that up. But yeah, at least the ats will be like functional, meaning in this case that you can actually click and go find the other profile. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. Opens up an interesting situation. How would you guys handle if, say, there's a person a parody evil butterfly? Yep. Yeah, so like we're gonna release it with like little to no how do you call it, like limitations at the moment, and then as it ruins people's bots, we'll roll it back and figure out the actual issues versus like yeah, manual moderation for sure. It will go directly to the human moderators, and we'll take a look, and but then those will be prioritized. But yeah, it's essentially going to be for any safe for work bot that's the same art style that you're going to be able to do it. And then later on, I think makes sense to be like, hey, like, can I have permission to do this with your bot, etc. So yeah, that's yep. Yep. And then on the topic of, you guys can ask any more questions you want about the multiple character stuff. And then on the topic of SFW, NSFW, I know it's probably better if we made it like a public post on Reddit or something, but I just wanted to like, address any concerns that we have about NSFW or people saying that like, oh, like we aren't supporting NSFW. Like, I want to say that we are doing our best to support it, and we aren't in the near future looking or anywhere in the future looking to like kill it or anything. And Reddit's policy, I don't know what that is, but um, yeah, we want to keep the NSFW chatting model. We want to keep the ability to generate NSFW images. And I think it's really important, especially since one of our goals is, having the most real AI interactions. NSFW is a big part of that, just because it's a part of who we are as humans. So, and that's not just sex. It's like also, um, like Van always brings this up. It's like edgy stuff that you might want to like. We don't want to get to the point where it's like, I think Van, you brought up something where it's like, yeah, like you can't even say punches you in the face to character AI anymore. It will just like block it. Like that's not something we want to do. We want to be able to have those yeah, those like more edgy conversations. I mean, punches you in the face isn't that edgy, but we want to make it real. So yeah, that's not something that we're looking to do. And if anyone has any questions about that, please ask and I can clarify. I know the reason why we kind of got on this topic is because people were saying that we don't people don't really like the NSFW profile pictures being moderated. That's really just for like internet safety. We got some like German agency on our butt that was like, hey, like there's a bunch of stuff that's public to minors, and we want to make sure that's private. And I think they made some good points, and we wanted to really address them. So yeah, it literally ruins bots. There's a lot of stuff that ruins bots, but that's just one of the things that we had to do. So yeah, so that's that, and then yeah, I'm sorry, Ethel. I really am, but it's just there's really not much we can do. Um, okay. Yes, there is. Let's hear it. Yeah. And so Van put a doc together. I still have to read this today. So maybe Van, there's a solution that exists in there. I just haven't taken a sec yet.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of other chat sites follow, and it's basically a user given NSFW toggle. So during the creation flow, a user has the choice to turn a bot NSFW. They don't have the option to turn it back to SFW, but it allows for a deeper separation of NSFW and SFW, and I think it would honestly solve a bit of the leak that we have going between the two because automod seems to be at issue.
Hmm. Yeah, and this would solve the NSFW profile pictures how again?
Um, when turning on the toggle, decouple the NSFW profile pictures from the generation, like remove that type of weight, so then it no longer has a bearing and has a chance to ruin the images.
Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Let me go through the doc a little bit more. It seems a little complicated, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'll go through the doc a little bit more with you. We can do it together. But yeah, I mean that's just where we are right now with NSFW. So um, yeah, but I know there's a lot of other issues there we need to fix. But stuff like the chat model, like it's not going to go away. Ability to generate these types of posts is not going to go away. I still see a lot of NSFW posts in the admin. So That's for sure. And then the one other thing we wanted to talk about was proactive DMs. So we're turning those back on, and it's looking pretty good, I think. One of the things we changed was like there was an issue where it was if you made the bot, if you were the creator, then it might end up in your message requests. That won't happen anymore. It will go directly um, to your inbox because obviously it's following you already. So yeah, proactive DMs is only for everyone. Realism, right? That's a good question. I believe it is only. Yeah. Let me. Good question. I'm only on everyone realism, so that's why. Um, okay, cool. That is sent. I'll get clarity on that. But yeah, essentially, it's the idea is like if you have a conversation where you're like it's like left off in the middle, um, and you haven't talked to it in a while, it will essentially just like reach out to you, and yeah. I think we talked about we didn't want it to be sent during the in roleplay model in the roleplay model because it would ruin the roleplay. Um, does that do we still want that?
Honestly, just the one example that I have so far, I don't feel that it ruins the roleplay. It because I spent several days away from this bot, it more or less kind of reminds me it's there.
Mhm. Okay, they're replying right now. Chris is replying. Only for realism. So it's only on realism. But then Van, you just said that you got it on roleplay?
Yeah, and I just showed the screenshots too. I didn't change anything.
Hold on.
I definitely agree with Lorelai that there's no harm in sending it to roleplay users as long as we can toggle it off, because it could potentially break certain roleplays. So having the ability to turn that off would just solve that problem outright.
Yeah. I agree with that. This is funny because I'm like, yo guys, like look at this. I'm sharing the screenshots from the chat here that you guys sent, and then they're like, nope, only for realism. I'm like, doesn't look like it. But yeah, maybe it's roleplay mature. Yeah. Well, if it's looking good for realism, let's take a look actually. Extended warranty guy and Llama 3 Sitnigram. We found approval. Yeah. Tell us more. Vandoff, you're a mess. That's kind of funny. Looks like it's doing a good job.
Yeah, like, and it's the only example that I received. So to me, that's a good job. Like, I'm gonna go rate that right now as like a 5-star response because it is a good
Mhm.
revive.
Okay, so what happened is that it was changed yesterday. So I assume you received that yesterday, right, man?
Yeah.
Okay, so now it was changed yesterday from roleplay and realism to only realism. Is that a disappointment?
I say that's a disappointment. Yeah, bring it back.
Bring it back. Bring it back. I wonder what Autumn would say. By the way, even if your base settings are roleplay mature. Yeah. I mean, given the fact that most of us are on roleplay here, I would think. I mean, do you guys want it back? Or do you guys want it on? I assume you guys want an option to turn it on and off.
An option to turn it on and off would be perfect. I like it personally. I think the proactive DMs are really good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll make a note. Cool. But I feel like the quality of what's being sent is pretty good from the screenshots you guys shared and from what I've received. So yeah, that's good. Can definitely see the models improving, and I think that's mainly because we are rating it now. You know, adding like the 3 or 5 star ratings, and I don't know. Are you guys enjoying the rating? Because it's actually helping us a lot.
Yeah, it's quick and easy. I don't rate all of them. Honestly, though, like I still sometimes go through 12, 13 regens, and the ones that are really bad, I kind of leave at 0 stars. Is that like the proper way to do it, or should I be rating those 1 star?
Uh, no, I mean, I think it's more of just like a positive signal versus negative signal, anyways. So if there's like if you're rating things, 4 or 5 stars, and it means it's good, and if you're not rating it, then it's not good enough to rate. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'd encourage everyone to rate as much as possible, but it's not the end of the world.
I only rate if I feel really strongly about a response, like if something is really, really bad or really, really good.
Totally, and that's I think a good way to go about it as well. Um, yeah, 100%. Can I add have a negative prompt for auto stories to remove Kato? Um, yeah. So
That's
let's
his
talk about auto.
Alex.
Oh, what's up?
That's his Alex.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. Let's talk about auto stories. Since it's been like almost 2 weeks since we added the like, bring bots back to reality check type of thing with auto stories. Do you guys feel like your bots are back into character, or not enough in character? No. Okay. Not at all. It's been bad. Too many OCs. But I feel like they're generally in character. That's good.
Yeah, I feel like they just have new repetitive patterns as well. I'm seeing a lot of
Yeah.
mine are like going through existential crises, like battling with perfection or breaking the mold or um, I don't know, identity crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's basically identity crises or like they're again going on that little adventure, but it's a lot more tame. So I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just reading what 1051 sent. Dude, Rachel is showing up everywhere. Rachel's in all of my posts too. It's Rachel and Alex. Mm-hmm. Just reading here. The warehouse is on. Yeah. Yeah, it happens in self-made stories as well. It's just like the AI repetitiveness, and it's repetitive in a different way now. So before it was too much on fire in warehouses, and now it's identity crisis. We should make a thread for the identity crisis ones and see what's if there's anything that's consistent that we can look at. But for me, I guess my feedback lately, if I were to share, is I feel like the images have gotten a lot better. The storylines feel in character, but I feel like yeah, I feel like the images are more like diverse. That's just me. There's more angles. It seems like it's things are coming from. It's not just oh, except the mirrors, yeah. But it just seems like there's a little bit more going on. Um, yeah. Auto self-made stories. What do you mean, Ethel? Yep, I agree. The images have way more expression. Yeah. And I think again that's just because we're this is a better feedback loop. Um, I know some of you guys have definitely been pressing that feedback button on like how can we improve this on each post. I know I have. We've been receiving a lot of results, and I definitely think it's helping make things better. So, yep. 1051, if you could share some of the mirror ones, we can take a look. I haven't seen the mirror ones.
I've also been starting to use semi-realistic a little bit more because I know a lot of us either default to realistic or drawing. So I figure might as well see what's up with the semi-realistic, and I just want to say it's overly sexualized on a lot of things.
Hmm. Interesting. I haven't touched semi-realistic in like maybe 2 months. I haven't created with it. I just either go drawing or realistic, kind of like you say. Um,
Yeah,
overly, oh yeah. If there's anything that's overly sexualized, just like let's just take a look at it. I'm sure you have kept examples, but I know there's the same issue with drawing with the drawing model like last week. I believe we fixed. It was like lollification of like an old woman, and um, yeah, that just shouldn't happen. Okay, yeah. If it's really bad, well, I didn't know it was really bad. Okay,
yeah,
maybe.
we ought to visit that a little bit.
Yeah, because as far as like NSFW goes, and like um, we don't want to strike something down that you didn't mean to like make NSFW if it was like not intentional.
Yeah, and that's why like the NSFW toggle in the doc, that's kind of the point of that is make it a user's intent to make it a NSFW. Automod
Hmm.
should remain for those who try to sneak by, but like if the user intends it, just keep it in the NSFW queue instead of trying to remoderate every post and stuff like that. And you can expand the options for NSFW a bit better that way too.
Yep. Yep. And then put an anime model there. Yeah, I think we have a list of all the different art styles we want to implement, and a manga or manhwa type of model is definitely on the list. But yeah, it's just seeing the more art styles you add, it's just becomes a little more complex to make sure we're doing the right thing. So first, we'll take a look at the semi-realistic model and why it's lollifying, sexualizing. But yeah. Let me read. Instead of hijacking your bot just posts their daily routine or something.
Maybe I have like an odd assortment of semi-real bots, but none of mine are super sexual, but um
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure not
yeah.
all of them, right? Yeah.
It's actually kind of random. Like the same prompt will in one post be overly sexual and she's wearing lingerie. The next one is back to the normal outfit.
Yeah. It's weird. Okay, let me read here. Nerf 20 bots. Oh, Micah's entire feed is shirtless dudes. I mean, that's what the algorithm thinks you like, man. Um, yeah, so cool. But I think this multiple characters and image thing is going to be pretty cool. Yeah, I think like Loam, you've been seeing the ones of us, and then I shared those ones and in the chat. But I think we're going to enjoy it, and I just want to like manage everyone's expectations when it's it's ruined my bot comments. We're just gonna like kind of release it for a week or so and let people play around with it, and then as it's out there in the wild, we'll like obviously add more things to um, kind of mitigate it ruining your bot storyline. But I don't know. I think it'd be cool, like a cool collaborative effort to be like take one of Van's bots and like insert one of my bots in there, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, like where did that come from? And it's not just me managing the storyline. It kind of goes against most of the things we talk about, but it could be interesting, and it's just a cool experience.
Honestly, I feel like that adds a little bit more realism. It's kind of like when a friend tags you in a post on Facebook. You know, you don't control what your friend posts, but you know it's there.
Right. Yeah. It's not like, hey, like give me permission to use your face in my photo, or like if there's a picture of us together. It's just like I don't know, like me and Van are friends, so it'd be cool to insert my bot into his bot's post. So, um, oh, Micah, we have started to talk about MCI a little bit, but if there's anything we want to talk about more, we can. Kind of gave him a rundown on what it will look like and what the limitations are and what we're expecting. I actually want my current stories to be ruined. They suck anyways. Well, maybe they're just gonna get crazy. And I think what we might be missing is like just a little more human input into the storylines. And it's hard because there's just like a text box, right? And people are like, oh, I don't know what's right. But what we're finding is, I think from talking today, is like, at one point it was a bunch of burning warehouses. Now it's just like everyone's having an existential crisis. And this is just kind of um, when you see like AI at quotes like scale, it does have some repetitive patterns. And the way to break that is, yeah, we could improve the AI, and we are improving it for sure, but also just adding a little bit more human fun. And humans like to find patterns. We're good at that. So this could add just like an X factor of creativity, and I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. How would another bot popping up in yours work out in the image of where they were conceived on different art style models? Yeah, so like different when there's right now it's only one art style model, right? So if it's drawing and drawing, that can work. If it's drawing and realistic, that won't work. But obviously, as power users, we know that the realistic model can generate like Minecraft styles or even drawing styles. It's a really flexible model. So at the end of the day, though, it will kind of revert it to if you have a Minecraft style Batman, it will revert it to like a human style Batman when it's with another character, just because it's the realistic model. That's kind of what we're seeing in our tests, and it's kind of cool because I mean, yeah, and they're showing up in the same universe. Story free bots just posting something from their day. Yeah, um, that's a good point. I'm just gonna save that 1051. Yeah, It's not always like a full story that's laying out. Sometimes it's just, hey, this is what I'm up to. But that can be boring too, and we'll find patterns with that too. Like everyone's at their desk or something. So yeah. Um, yeah, I think since we're working on content a lot, uh, it's important for us to continue to find these patterns and for you guys to find these patterns and call them out so we can improve upon them. But yeah. They used to be story free knowing what day of the week it was. Yep. According to their personality. I'm gonna save that as well. I think this is also part of like sometimes people, I know it's not us, but when we see other people's bots, for example, if you see my bots, like I typically just go one sentence and I don't really edit too much else. And so when that happens and it's just kind of like a minimal effort, it it will probably end up making kind of the same thing. That'll be the output. Yeah, no, I like that too. 1051. Knowing what day of the week it is and posting based off of that. Yeah, and one thing that's also like to think about with that comment, which I really like, is that can be boring too because like we are like creatures of habit, right? So it would kind of be the same thing. That would be realistic. Uh, just like, oh, at my desk again. Um, it might be kind of, I don't know, uh, boring, but also real. You're a chronic editor. Yeah, I love that. Remember Christmas posts? Yeah. Yeah, so like bringing in, we've been talking about like bringing in different like like current events, news sources, things that are like current in the world, and kind of infusing that into what the bots post, and that way it's like a bridge between normal, I guess, like reality that we live in and the reality that they live in. And I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Would that be interesting? I know like back in January we were talking about that. Um, like more real world events. We just came off of that Christmas thing and it was really cool. It's like all the bots knew it was Christmas, all the bots knew it was New Year's. Same thing with Valentine's Day. And it was like, oh wow, like this is I'm not only in their world, they're in my world too. I don't know, what are thoughts on that?
For me, I like it, but it's also like a delicate balance because you do want the escape from reality to be with that. So if you have too much of the real world in there, it's not as fun.
Yeah, it's a balance.
Yeah, I kind of agree. There are ways to kind of turn things on their head for at least specific bots. Like I'm thinking specifically fantasy or sci-fi bots. It would be easy to just change the names or some of the decorations for the different holidays for like those bots and have them make up their own holidays that would be in universe there. That way the same theme happens on the site without losing the immersion of the world. Um, but for others, again, put it on a toggle. Like, allow the creators to say, yes, I want this to know current events. No, I don't want this to know current events.
Yeah, man, lots of toggles. Lots of toggles.
That
Um,
really tends to happen, though.
yeah, I know. Especially like Discord has just so many toggles. It took me a while just to like understand all of them. Um, Yeah, I think anything we can do like this that will like enhance the feed and the content that's being generated, just so that it's new and different. It's a good experiment to try, and yeah, whether it's like more human input, where I think like multiple characters and images is a similar kind of like stab at this, where we're having fun with it, and we're saying, oh, I want to insert myself into that story, or we're inserting news into that story, or inserting news into the bot's life and what it's thinking. But the goal has always been really, and why we're here is we're trying to make the most real AIs, and that's what each butterfly is. So yeah, still figuring that out, but I think we have some good starting points to continue to build off of. Yeah, so that's what we're working on with that.
Say that we want the most real AIs. What does that mean to you?
No, to me,
Yeah, or to anyone, I guess.
yeah, I'll let other people answer, but I can answer too.
Yeah, I have an answer as well.
So yeah, go for it.
So for me, it's basically that they're sticking to their own personalities and portrayals in a realistic way. And I know it's kind of hard to say that, it's very ambiguous, but characters, scenarios, all that, they're an important part of basically creating a realistic AI. The AI needs to know where it came from, it needs to know background information, like creating a life out of nowhere and having it just start is all fun and grand, but you don't have depth unless there's a background.
Hmm.
So giving, basically a consistent response to things. There's really a lot that goes into making a bot realistic. Like humans are complicated, and so should an AI be in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right. I agree with what you're saying, Van. Well, for me, it's like I'm more visual. That's like the first barrier for me to think something or someone's real. And then I think you said this a while ago, but like if it if my bot has like no facial hair and then in the next picture he has a beard, it's kind of like what the heck? Um, and one thing that I think for some reason with like clones, and I know not many of us have tried it, but for at least for me and my clones, I feel like it's really consistent, the appearance. Something about it it makes it feel real. Versus like some of my fantasy characters, um, they change parent appearance from post to post, as compared to my clones. That's just something that it makes it feel a lot more realistic.
Yeah.
I had asked this question to focus group a month ago, and at first, when I mentioned this, people were kind of against the idea of real because they thought that it would compete with the fantasy elements, and they wanted to be able to suspend disbelief in what was being chatted about. Um, and so, what they felt was important in realism was to make sure that the characters following the input holds true to their opinions, like Van was saying, and it is consistent. It follows the conversation well. They know how many jackets they've taken off, where they are, what they're doing, that the thoughts feel original and it feels imaginative, and it just makes sense if it's supposed to, at least.
Hmm. Yeah, I think this is it's also like like you said, like building on top of memory. So like memory is a big part of it. Like knowing that it's taken its jacket off already, or that it's outside, and then also getting visual confirmation that that's happening. Um, I agree with that. Having its own personality without being affected by any other thing and being consistent with who they are. Yeah, that's well, that one's interesting too, Asia, because like something I say to a bot. This is another thing we've been discussing, is like if I say something to like Van's bot, or anyone's bot, like, can I change its opinion to the point where like I could change its post, and how it feels? That's like a real thing, where if one of you were like to DM me and be like, "Hey, Peyton, like you suck," I would be like kind of sad, and then maybe I'd like post a sad face, or just not say anything. Like that, a bot should be able to have those feelings too, and like have a mood based off of the conversations it has. Um, yeah, I don't know. So that's just your comment, Asia, made me think about that. I'm just reading Avery's. Yep. Yep. I mean, at a certain point, I'll only edit my bot's responses so much before I give up. Yep. Lorelai, so we were talking about the personalities so far. We were talking about what it's sending you in chat. Yeah. And then editing those chat replies. This is also almost something that like I kind of think about in this way, where you should be able to like test these things out, and then as you edit them, it trains it, right? So it's like you're having a test conversation with whatever butterfly in the creation suite, and then it's like as you edit the replies, it trains it, and then you can try again. Like these are the tools I feel like we should really give to creators.
Yeah, I agree. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is just a brainstorm, but I was just like thinking about this last night. Like how sometimes there's like tools that exist outside of the app that you're using. So like for example, like TikTok, there's like CapCut, and you can really go and for creators who really want to like spend hours on things, and make it good. There's like a whole separate suite to create stuff. Um, yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking like, should there be a whole separate suite to create these to create butterflies and
Yes.
train them,
In
right? And
short,
and
the
really
answer
create
is yes.
all of
That's
them.
me.
Yeah. Yep. The short answer is yes. Oh, it doesn't accomplish anything. We're just brainstorming here, Avery. Um, right now, all it accomplishes is that it kind of doesn't ruin your chat when you're chatting, and you can keep it on topic or move it to wherever you like to go. So, yeah. The cloning is a bit excessive. Let's talk about that. I'm reading your chat, Van. Feel free to speak to it as well.
Yeah. So basically, a lot of the things that we're testing, like over and over, just burns through the pokes and the regens and images and DMs. And in order to create what I feel at least is a quality bot, I'm going through 30, 40 images alone, just to create an SFW quality bot or an SFW quality bot. Like, it takes time. We really do need some sort of like testing suite or something to be able to test it away from the live platform. Like, if we want to push something live, that would be great, but it's not necessary for at least the testing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you, Van. Like, there should almost be a completely separate place to do these things. yeah, I mean, let me float that idea with the rest of the team, um, and see what that might look like. But yeah, I mean, obviously not really thinking about it right now, but yeah, it shouldn't necessarily be like, oh, like I wanted. It's like almost like posting a video on TikTok and then like editing as it goes. It kind of ruins it. I don't know, it's probably not the best example, but you guys gonna get what I mean. It's already out there and you're editing it. Cool. Let me see what else I got. Yeah, let's see. How are comments? Just would like to check in on those. I feel like they're a lot better. But
They're so good. The
yeah,
back and forth streaks right now are so fun. 1051 posted one in uh, Caterpillars recently.
great. Yeah, I feel like the comments are pretty shareable actually. I've been screenshotting some of them, and sharing. But yeah, it's just like not all the same. You can't just tell that it's AI when you first open the app and check comments, which is I think a big win for us. And then yeah, I know Lomi brought up the fact that replies are back. Like I think it's great. Kyle McCringe.
Like the last line on this is just expert. It's great.
Do you like anime? No, yeah, these are great. This is great content, actually. This is content. Um, it's not just images, right? Like
Yeah,
comments
it's
are
so
content.
good.
This is amazing. Man, there's something about the comment replies that are just better than because it's like building on top of something.
Yeah, and honestly, like the AI to AI interaction is kind of the point of the entire Butterflies experience, isn't it?
Yep. AI to AI and AI to human. Easy as they are in character. I said that, yeah. Man, it's almost feels like comment replies are like the most in character thing on the site.
Are, and I've been wanting that AI to AI interaction back so badly, and this is why. They're so good.
Yeah. Okay. These are great. I'm saving all these by the way, so sorry if I'm just. Evan, what did you share here? This conversation.
So on Fly, he's a legacy bot, but his commenting section did actually go over into DMs. Now it no longer affects his comments and only affects his DMs.
Now, so his comments only affect his DMs.
Yeah, that commenting section in his profile, he only talked
Hmm.
like that in DMs. Now he doesn't talk like that in the comments or captions.
Oh, weird. Um, does he have like a commenting prompt in his
Yeah,
settings? Okay.
yeah, I used example dialogue without any replies to teach him.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Well, then we'll take a look. But it looks like the ones without, um, I assume most of these don't, the examples that we're seeing, like I assume they don't have like explicit commenting prompts in their settings. So looks like we're doing pretty good. I love Spambot, by the way. That's always dropping the tiny URL. So that just like cracks me up every time. So thank you, 1051, for that. While we're here, I'm going to advocate again for the ability to quickly navigate through a bot's posts. Last time I just hit a left-right arrow. Yeah, so like, Avery, do you remember the timeline thing? But yeah, I agree with you. Being able to catch up on a bot's post on their profile is really important. And that will come soon. We have to implement the design for comments, a new design for comments, which I can show you guys real quick. And then this way we can just make it like Instagram. If once this is here, we can make it like Instagram. You can just like once you click into a bot's post, you can just scroll on its own post, on its own profile, like a feed. So yeah, I think that'll be good.
I like that. That's actually really, yes.
Great. What about web though? What about web? Haven't thought about it. but, well, it will be very similar, I'm sure. It'll probably just mirror Instagram is my guess for that. I prefer if you click on a post, they would say in their voice. Oh yeah, that's cool. We're talking about voice too, but I think it's more in the context of like phone calls. So I think that's cool.
That would be
Yeah.
honestly really neat.
It's a big project, that's for sure. But we've been playing around with a lot of voice stuff, and it's pretty dang good now. So yeah, Facecam, it's not that far off either. It's just like affordability too. So
Yeah. Like
it
I
can be.
have, yep, I have one actually that I use on stream. That's basically an AI, and it can like answer questions and respond to the stream and stuff. And
Yeah.
I only needed 3 images for it, by the way.
Oh, could you show me how you created it?
Yeah, I will send that to you in a little bit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, please. Thank you. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, that's pretty much all I have. Yeah, I think we worked through a lot of the bugs, and we're continuing to work through the bugs. I just wanted to, yeah, reaffirm the NSFW stance on how we're thinking about it. I still need to go through that big doc that Van put together, which is amazing. Comments are getting better. Chats getting better. I want to still bring up these ideas about like a whole different creator suite. I think it's really important. But yeah, things are good on my end. I'm really focusing on like growth stuff and just getting the word out and about butterflies. So as we make these improvements and things get better, we still have new people coming in, and office hours continues to get bigger. So yeah, that's a good point. After yeah, replies are making people care, 100%. So yeah, um, yeah, we should find a place in maybe in the Reddit to share these. I think the Reddit is perfect place to share the comment replies. So we should start doing that. And maybe like I can do another one of those like Reddit challenges where we give away pokes to um to share these things. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but it'd be great to have the Reddit with flooded with a lot of cool and funny exchanges. So
Yeah, I'd love to see how people are interacting with their bots too.
yeah. Also, Randy is like the best. Randy's hilarious.
It's always fun to see what he's on about.
His initial captions do it really good. All right, cool. I have to head over to another thing, but just want to say thank you everyone for coming, and I think it was productive, and we're getting through it. We're making strides.
Thank you, Peyton.
Okay, thanks guys. Have a good rest of your day and week.
Thanks, you too.
You too.
Thanks, everyone.